Judgment and discrimination comes from the inability to accept at face value things or bodies, situations for what it is, for what they are. The inability to accept unconditionally things the way they are. And as with everything else, if we feel we're being judged, or if we ourselves are very judgmental, it starts with us. Where is it coming from? And why are we feeling we need to label and judge everything out there? Yes, it starts with self-love and self-acceptance. Because once we hold unconditional self-love and self-acceptance, there is no more ground for judging, neither ourselves nor what we perceive as external world. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today for this activation session. This is a conversation heart to heart and consciousness with itself. This is coming from a non-dual point of view that this body has accepted as an experience in this, what we call, world or reality. Today I feel guided to speak about judgment, discrimination, and bias, and they all go hand in hand. And I have spoken about this in various other videos, usually shorter ones, like at the end of Reiki. I did I think 2 or 3 Reiki now for judgment, clearing judgment, and I have spoken about this before, and I just feel that there is more need to talk about this, because it's generally a subject, a topic that is not really mentioned a lot, and I feel it needs some clarification as to where this is coming from, where this is rooted in, and how we can clear this in our perceived reality. So judgment, discrimination, and bias go hand in hand. They're interwoven. You can basically say discrimination is judgment on others or on self, whereas you could argue people usually, or body minds, don't discriminate against themselves, but they do if they judge themselves. So it is energetically connected and pretty much the same type of energy, if you want to call it that. And for me, to mind come 3 different points that lead to, in our perceived external reality, lead to judgment, discrimination, bias, and everything that goes along with that. Bad mouthing is judgment. Smack talking is judgment. Gossiping, yes, that's judgment, people. It is. It doesn't matter whether you say, oh, I'm just, making fun and I'm just being, no, it's judgment. The moment you gossip about some other body mind out there, it's judgment. Okay? So there is no nice talking this. Smack talk, gossip, bad mouthing, all that is goes along with judgment and discrimination. Alright? So there are 3 things that come to mind as a, let's call it cause or root cause for, judgment, discrimination, bias, anything that goes along with that. The first thing is judging self. And a lot of people will disagree here, or a lot of body minds will disagree here, but judging others, what we perceive as other body minds out there in our external reality, judging others stems from judging ourselves. Body minds judge on others what they don't like about themselves. Not necessarily the same thing. Now, let me put as an example weight. Yes? Some body minds may judge other body minds that they perceive to be out there for being overweight. Now, that does not mean that that body mind that is the judging, doing the judging or the discrimination or the bad mouthing or smack talking or gossiping, whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean that that person is necessarily overweight, but they have a distorted body image and issues with their own physical body, which then reflects outwards, and they're judging others for their weight or the way they look or whatever you want to call it. Yes? So usually judging others out there stems from issues, unacceptance, denial, yes, of something about our own physical body, mentally, emotionally, doesn't matter. Yes? If we have issues there, that's when we start judging others for similar issues, not necessarily the same, but similar issues. Like I said, if we have body image issues, if we're not happy with our physical body, that's when we start judging, bad mouthing, smack talking. It's all the same thing. Yes? It's not chit-chatting. If you're smack talking, gossiping about somebody, that's not chit-chatting. That's not being friendly. That's judging. Yes? And so that's one thing. When we have issues with ourselves, it then reflects outwards and we start judging perceived other body minds out there. Yes? Okay, so the next thing that goes with judgment as a, let's say, call it root cause, what causes judgment, discrimination, bias, and so forth, is when we're judging others, it's basically an frequency or energy or whatever you want to label it. It doesn't matter what you label it. Labels really don't matter. Yes? Whatever you put out there comes back to you reflected, because that's how this reality that we created as the all that is and the all that is not. Yes, it's one thing. This reality that we created, a duality reality that always has two sides. Yes, that's what we created for this experience in what we call this world or reality. What we put out there is reflected back to us, so that we recognize what we put out there. Yes? So if you feel that you're constantly being judged, discriminated against, or judged or badmouthed by perceived other body, minds, beings out there, yes, go within and examine how you relate to your external outside world that you are creating, whether you're aware of it or not. Yes? But if you feel that you are constantly being judged, or that if you feel judged by the world, like some people have this mentality, they're all against me and the whole world is against me and they don't see me for what I am and they don't accept me for what I am, la 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 la. Okay? If that occurs to you, examine how you relate to your perceived external reality. What are you creating out there? What are you sending out there? Are you being judgmental? Do you have bias or discrimination against whatever is going on out there? Yes? If you cannot unconditionally accept and hold space for whatever you're creating, because it is still your creation, whether you're aware of it or not, yes? If you do not have acceptance for that, then it will reflect back to you as discrimination or judgment or bias or just bad-mouthing, smack-talking, gossiping, whatever. Yes? Whatever you put out there energetically will come back to you as a mirror reflection energetically. And if you put discrimination and judgment out there, it will reflect back to you. So if you feel that you are constantly being judged, yeah, or not accepted, because judgment is the inability to accept what is at face value. Yes? And I will get into that a little later. I'll explain that a little bit more. But if you feel that that the world is wronging you, judging you, discriminating against you, not accepting you, then you need to examine what the hell are you putting out there. Yes? Because whatever you're putting out there will come back to you. Okay? And you may not even be aware that you are judging. Yes? I give you an example. You're at work. You're working. You get there, let's say your shift starts or whatever, you start at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're there 8 o'clock in the morning, and then it's 8:10, it's 8:15, 8:20. Here comes your coworker. What's your first thought? What is your first thought? Are you gonna say, oh, hey, did you sleep late? Did you sleep in? Did you miss the bus? Are you judging this other body mind for being late? Yes? Again, you may not even consider this judging, but it is still judging, because you're questioning that person, which is none of your business, why that person is late, that other body mind. Yes? So what are you putting out there? Are you constantly giving opinions? Is judgment. Are you constantly criticizing other people or correcting them if you feel the need to constantly correct other people, be that their behavior or be that what they say? Yes? If people have a potty mouth, do you feel the need to constantly correct them? That's judging. And you may not be aware it's judging, it's still judging, and it will reflect back to you in some way, shape, or form, because this is the reality we set up here for us. Yes? Whether you're aware of that or not, whether you're aware that what you're doing is judging or not. So that's why I always say, be careful, very careful of what you're putting out there. Yes? Your thoughts, your emotions, your words all have power, and they all create this, what we perceive as external world. They all create what we perceive as our reality. And our reality can only be as pleasant as we create it. And I keep hearing body mind say, oh, we want heaven on earth, la 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 la. But are you creating it? Or are you still daddling in the game of good and bad and, yes, of the saviors and the saints and the... You still see black and white in everything you do, instead of finding the golden middle and finding that inner acceptance? Yes, then you're judging. And that doesn't mean you have to condone and agree and accept everything and anything that is going on out there in your perceived reality that you are creating. Yes, you do not have to condone everything. You do not have to participate in everything. Yes? I have preferences of staying out of certain topics. Yes? And I do not condone everything and anything that's going on in my perceived reality. But I hold space for it with the awareness that this is what I have created, And if I want to see a more pleasant reality, then it starts within. It starts with me, here, this body, mind, yes, and what I put out there. Yes, if I want to see more pleasant out there, I need to start putting more pleasant out there instead of judging what is. Yes, because if you judge what is, you get more of what you're judging. Yes? That's not helping if you prefer a more pleasant reality. Yeah? The moment you're judging what you perceive to be out there, you get more of what you're judging. More of what you're gossiping on. More of what you're disliking. Yes? If you're scrolling through the internet and disliking and disliking and disliking and disagreeing and getting into arguments with all kinds of different energies, you're getting more of that same shit. You are. Whether you're aware of it or not, it does not matter. Okay? So the last thing that I find is really one of the root causes, if you want to call it that, is labeling. And labeling also includes gossiping, bad-mouthing. Anytime you put an opinion out there, you're labeling something. Yes? And in this reality that we're creating here, as we go, we're just winging it, yes? In our reality that we're creating here, we have the duality, yes, in order to have a gameplay going, if you so want. And the human body mind is just really geared towards labeling in either or. Yes, for most human body minds, everything is either black or white. It's good or bad. It's hot or cold. It's up or down. There is like no middle ground for most human body minds. Yes, but the middle ground is where we find acceptance. Yes, no matter whether it's good or bad, la 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 la, it don't matter. The middle is where we find the acceptance, the space between. Yes, there is a song, by the way, The Space Between, that Dave Matthews Band, I think, was it. And the middle ground is where we find the acceptance that it takes to get out of all this judgment and labeling. Again, if we put it out there, it will reflect back to us, whether we're aware of it or not. And human body minds constantly name and label everything we encounter. Yes? Let's just take a walk through nature. Oh, this is a nice big tree. Why do I have to say the tree is big? It's a tree, and even that is a label. It's just there. Can we not just accept it that it's there? Do we have to say it's a tree? And no, it's not enough to say it's a tree. It's a big tree, or it's a green tree, or it's a whatever kind of tree it is. It's an oak or a willow or whatever tree. Yes, those are all labels. Now this is small considered what labels we put on sometimes, especially when it comes to the categories good and bad. Yes? So we start labeling things. That's what judgment is labeling. Yes? Instead of holding the space and the awareness that not everything is the way we would like it to be, but accept it for what it is, because we have still created it. Yes? Whether you like it or not, you still created it. And then you go ahead and you judge it. And that's why I always say, if we judge what's out there in our perceived external reality that we have created, if we judge all that, we judge ourselves. Yes? If you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my goodness, and the world, and oh, it's falling to shits, you're judging yourself, because what the hell did you create out there that you do not like? Ask yourself, what did you create that you're not comfortable dealing with? Yes? Okay, it starts with self again. Go within. What's going on out there that I do not like and that I would like to change? Change it here. Yes? You feel there's not enough love out there? Are you putting enough love out there? Yes? Or are you just waiting for other supposed other beings to put the love out there so you can enjoy living comfortably? Is that what it is? Do you feel there is too much violence in this world? Then what are you putting out there? Are you watching violent movies? Is that what you're putting your energies on? Then you're creating more violence in this world. Yes? Because yes, what we put out there comes back to us. Yes? If you watch a lot of violent movies, horror movies, stuff like that, you will be the one who keeps seeing all these horror headlines in the news and in your outside reality. Huh? So where's your focus? Where is your energy going? What are you creating out there that you do not like afterwards? Yes? So it always starts with us. It always starts at looking at what are we creating and what are we putting out there that is then reflecting back to us. If what we see here in the reflection that's coming back do not like, we need to change it. That's just like when you're looking in a mirror and you're looking at your face and your body and you do not like it. Who do you think is going to change your face and your body if you do not like it? You change it. Yeah? Like, if I, for instance, do my hair and put my makeup and I don't like it, I'll change it. All right? That's how this works. You do not sit around on your bum and wait for someone else to change it or for a savior to come and change it or save you from your reality that you created. Okay? Too many people are sitting around and waiting for what? Hello? Wake up. You're creating this shit show. It's time to wake up and clean it up if you do not like it. Yeah? So, and then people say it's a co-creation. It's a co-creation in that sense as there are perceived other bodies, beings out there. And in that sense it's a co-creation, but it is still all just one consciousness creating that same thing. You know? And everybody perceives the reality differently. So I can talk to somebody on the street and they say, oh man, the world's falling to pieces. And I'm like, what? It's peachy. Everything's great. Yes? It depends on what view you have, what you creating out there. Yes? That's the same as people say the glass is half full or half empty. It's the same amount of water in the glass. It's your point of view that determines whether it's half full or half empty, and that is a label and judgment too. Yes? But what kind of labels are you putting out there? Are you putting out there the glass is half full or the glass is half empty? Yes? Either one could be positive. Positive or negative is a label. Yes? Let's just try to stay in the middle, try to stay neutral. Neutral in acceptance. Again, not accepting everything that's perceivedly going on out there. Yes? But have the acceptance that other perceived body minds have the choice to make choices that may not be aligned in what you consider preferable. Yes? Have that awareness that that other body mind that is making a choice that you do not like is still you as the all that is consciousness. Having that experience. Yes? So getting back to what I mentioned earlier, to accepting what is at face value. Yes? That means without labeling, without putting any judgment on it. Unconditional acceptance means no judgment, no labeling, just accepting as is. Yes? And accepting that, again, other body beings perceived out there make different choices that we may not agree with, but we don't have to judge it either. We can just hold the acceptance and the space for that other body in the awareness that this is an experience this body is having because the all that is consciousness, you can call it God, creator, source, it does not matter. It's all the same thing and it's all labels. Yes? Is having that experience for the sake of that experience. Whether you would consider this experience pleasant or unpleasant does not matter. You do not have to judge it. You do not have to label it. Yes? You do not have to judge that other body being for having that experience. That doesn't mean you have to condone it either. Yes? There is a lot of stuff going on in the external, perceived external, that is very difficult to comprehend as a human body mind. Yes? So, the ability to hold space for that other situation, that other body mind, that other being, what you perceive to be out there. Yes, that's unconditional acceptance of what is at face value, without labeling, without judging, without discrimination. Yes, and that's what it takes. Unconditional acceptance of self, unconditional acceptance and self-love, that will then reflect outwards and bring unconditional love and acceptance into the external, what we perceive as world. So that's why I said earlier, if you want to see more love in this world and less violence, yes, it's still a label, but there are preferences. Even those are labels too. Yes, but as body minds, we do have preferences. And if you want to see more acceptance and love and unity out in this perceived external world, what we call the world, in our reality, then you need to start putting it out there. Don't sit and wait for someone to come save the day, or come save you, or come save the situation, or come save the world. No, you're your own hero. You're the one who saves your reality. Yes? Once you are in the energy, frequency, don't matter. Once you hold unconditional love and acceptance for yourself, it will radiate outwards into your reality. And it will basically clear, if you so want, judgment, bias, discrimination. Yes? And you have to watch your mouth. No more gossiping. No more smack talking. Because that is judgment too. Yes? The human body mind always looks outwards for help, for a savior, for somebody who can fix things, somebody who can save the day, some other body, as long as it's not me. Yes, there are very few human body minds who actually realize that they need to take action here, and then it radiates outwards. Yes, and that may look different for every physical body mind. Yes, because every physical body mind has a different makeup. But it really starts with self. And the wind is excellent for clearing and shifting energies. There has been, in the perceived external, has been a lot of shifting going on that many may not be aware of. Some people, body minds, may get headaches, or may start clearing by detoxing and getting the cold or the flu or whatever you want to label it. That's all a form of detoxing shite from the body, from the human body, stuff that needs to go. Yes, that many human bodies have forgotten how to clear on their own, so it comes out as a cold or flu or whatever illness, diarrhea. Yes, all that is a sign of that stuff needs to come out of the body. That's how we get rid of shit. Yes, and there has been a lot of shifting going on, and many people have seen shifts in weather. That is all part of our perceived reality. And I said this before, our reality as we create it has many different layers, because there are perceivedly so many different beings creating this, yeah, as a let's say as a teamwork project. We are creating this perceivedly as so many different beings. And there are so many different layers to the reality that we perceive, and even more layers of reality of what we're not perceiving through the human body. Yes, through the human body mind. There are so many layers of reality that we cannot perceive. Yes, through the physical senses, let's say. Yes. Many body minds can tune into those invisible layers of reality. Yes, they can tune into it, but not through the physical senses. Yes, so there are so many layers and variations, and it is constantly shifting. That's why the perceived future, if you want to call it that. Now, there really is no future and no past, because time doesn't exist and everything happens at once. But that's why it constantly changes and shifts. And if somebody says to you they can tell the future, no. They may tune into something as an event, as a happening. They may tune into that, but that doesn't mean it cannot be shifted. Yes? Any decision that you make, any moment, any movement, any emotional output, any mental output, thoughts, whatever you're putting out there, yes, can shift completely. Yes, your external and internal. Yes, it always comes from the inside outwards and then reflects back to us. Okay, so in conclusion, as with pretty much any video I am making, this is connected to all other videos I have been making. I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail with judgment and discrimination here, because I have mentioned it in previous longer videos and again in shorter videos, and I just felt that there was some need to clarify a few things here. Again, it starts within. It starts with the perceived self, the perceived internal of your physical, non-physical reality. We have an internal and an external perceived reality, and it starts within, because whatever you are putting out there is then reflected back to you. And if you feel that the world is judging you, that you're being discriminated against, then what are you putting out there? Yes. If you feel there is a lot of discrimination and judgment going on in your external world, again, what are you putting out there? What is your focus on and your emotions, and what are you putting out there? Yes, if you would like to see a world of more agreement and more love and acceptance and just understanding of each other, more getting along with each other of the perceived external other bodies, yes, then that's what you need to be putting out there. Yeah, and not putting your mind on, let's say, movies or whatever all these mind distractions are, because it always comes from the mind. Judgment comes from the mind. This is what's judging. The heart does not judge. The heart holds unconditional love and acceptance. What's judging is the mind. Yes, that's why once you're out of this physical form, this body, there's no more judgment. That's why there is no judgment in perceived heaven. There is no place like heaven. There is no place like heaven. There is no place that's called, heaven is not a place. That's how it goes. Heaven is not a place. Yes. That's a state of consciousness. Hell is not a place. It's a state of consciousness. That's why many teachers say you create your own heaven and hell. It's a state of consciousness, and whatever your mind, your consciousness is set to, what you're putting out there is reflecting back to you. So if you're putting a lot of unpleasant stuff out there, or if you're focusing on a lot of unpleasant stuff, then you're creating more unpleasant stuff. Yes, and this is really very difficult for human body minds to comprehend, because many are not at the level of the comprehension that we're creating all this. Yes, call it co-creation, don't matter. There is only one consciousness when it comes down to it. So every single physical body is lived, operated, animated, breathed life into by just one. Yes, it's just one consciousness trying to get different experiences from all kinds of different angles. Yes. So in that sense, you are the victor and the victim. Yes. You are the perpetrator and the victim. You're both. You're just not aware of it. But you're basically living out the experience of a victim and of a perpetrator at the same time. Consciousness is. Yes. Again, the body mind is not always aware of that. And I'm not saying it's pleasant. Yes. But that's the reality we are creating here. Yes. And again, outside of this physical form body, there is no judgment. Yes. Because once you leave duality, there is no more judgment. There is no more bias. There is no more discrimination. Because once you're pure consciousness, the all that is and the all that is not, yes, then you're just unconditional love and acceptance. So in order to experience and recognize what you are, yes, we create this dual reality where you have good and bad, up and down, black and white. Yes. So it's an experience consciousness consciously chooses. Yes. And again, that's often difficult, very difficult to comprehend. Why would consciousness choose something that is painful, that is hurtful, that is, yeah. But that's what we are doing here in this reality. Yes, to experience things we cannot experience as consciousness. Yes. So, again, in order to clear judgment, discrimination, bias, all these things, we need to really look at ourselves, look within, and start being aware of what we're putting out there and what we're putting our mind on. Again, are you playing violent video games? Are you watching violent movies? Are you one of the people who has to read the headlines in the newspapers? Or watch the headlines on TV or on the internet? It don't matter. If you are out for drama and sensationalism, then that's what you're putting out there, and that's what will reflect back to you. Yes? So be aware of what your output is. You want to see a more loving world? To put it in short terms, more loving world, yes, out there? Then that's what you need to start putting out there. Love what you do not like out there. That's acceptance. Yes? You don't have to condone it, but hold space for it. Neutral space. Yes? And love what you do not like about yourself. Yes? I have a video about self-love and self-acceptance. Yes? It starts with self. It always starts with self. And then you will notice, once you're good to yourself and you're putting that out there and you have compassion, yes? Compassion for whatever you perceive to be in your external world, yes? It will start shifting, because that's what you're putting out there, yes? And then you will see more compassion and more love and more unity in your external reality. I hope this answered some questions or brought some information that maybe you were wondering about. And I hope that it cleared up a few things about judgment. Because there seems to be the miscomprehension, if you so want, that judgment is one-sided. No, it's not. So if you're being judged or you feel you're being judged, that means somewhere along the line you're putting judgment out there, whether you're aware of it or not. If you're gossiping a lot, if you're smack talking a lot, if you constantly have to pick on people, if you constantly have to correct people, that's judgment. Okay? So you may think you're a really good person, yes, and tattletale on everybody because they're not behaving. That's still judgment, and it will reflect back to you. Okay? So thank you for being here, for being present. I really appreciate you. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer as best as I can. Okay? I see you, I appreciate you, I honor you. So much love and blessings.